team like Kyrie and KD. Or the Lake Show with King James and AD. Wish I could match him up with the bad boys from the 80s. But no black and white, I need that in HD. HenDawgz.
Yo, what's good, y'all? It's your boy HenDawg, and we back to it. You know how we do it. This couldn't have gone any worse. And I haven't reacted to the video. I haven't even looked into the video, so I don't know 100% what it's about. But I saw the thumbnail, and the thumbnail is a picture of Dillon Brooks. So I can almost kind of assume, put two and two together what this video is going to be about. But before we do, make sure y'all subscribe to the channel. We are on the way to 10K. Go ahead and like this video. If you like this video, then go ahead and write some in the comments. Let me know how y'all feel about Dillon Brooks, because it's weird. I don't normally dislike players. Like, just the NBA fan in me, the basketball head that I am, I'm always on the player side with different things, so I don't really just dislike players, but it's something about Dillon Brooks that just kind of rubbed me the wrong way. I don't really know if I feel like he's like faking like his personality. Like I really don't know, honestly, but it's just something about him that I just didn't want him to succeed, but not in a bad way. Like, obviously, I don't just want him to fail in life or anything, but on the court, I be wanting to see him get his ass bust, honestly. Just the way he carry himself. But yeah, let's get into it. I really don't even want to do too much talking. We want to see how Dillon Brooks did all that talking during that series before the first couple games, and you know the Grizzlies won a couple games here and there, and they got the same crazy stuff about LeBron. He poked bears, and calling LeBron James old is crazy. Like, he calling him 40 years old, and he is 38, but just to call a 38-year-old man 40 is kind of hilarious. And I think the funniest thing, I think the one thing that kind of made me just be like, okay, bro, like, you have to chill, is he said that he doesn't respect LeBron until he scores 40 on him. Like, the number one player, the number one scorer of all time, not the number one player, the number one scorer of all time, 4 championships, gold Olympic medalist, like all this stuff that LeBron's accomplished in his life, and Dillon Brooks still saying he don't respect him is crazy. And it's funny because he said that he needed him to score 40 on him to get his respect. Well, the Lakers beat him by 40 to eliminate him from the playoffs, so I think that was good enough. But let's get into this video. This couldn't have gone any worse. Let's get it.
Some guys just want to be the villain. Bill Laimbeer made a career out of being the villain. Kevin Garnett and Rasheed Wallace spent their entire careers terrorizing the NBA, and they loved it. Dennis Rodman's sole mission was to pester the other team into submission. Latrell Sprewell choked out his own coach. For better or for worse, the NBA needs a villain. Someone we can all rally together and root against. And right now, that villain is Dillon Brooks. Or at least, that's what he thinks. Because this season alone, Dillon Brooks has managed to become public enemy #1 by getting into fights with Donovan Mitchell, Kevin Durant, Russell Westbrook, Anthony Edwards, Pascal Siakam, Klay Thompson, Stephen Curry, Chris Middleton, Draymond Green, James Harden, 7'2", 300-pound Joel Embiid, half the Spurs roster, and Shannon freaking Sharp. It's almost as if Dillon Brooks woke up one day and made a list of the greatest active NBA players and said, F it, I'll take all of them. This has to be some sort of NBA record.
But it's so funny because this is not the first time this happened. He just named off a lot of guys, and yeah, people hated Bill Laimbeer. People definitely hated him, but I never really had that feeling that I got with Dillon Brooks for those other guys, and they all was doing the same thing. I literally don't know what it is. If somebody can kind of pinpoint why Dillon Brooks is so annoying, write it in the comments for me.
A speed run on how to be unanimously despised by everyone. But of all the players Brooks decided
Hopefully
to
I'll figure it out by the
end
of this video.
Of all the great players he provoked and pissed off on his way to 6 points and 3 rebounds on 38% shooting,
that might be what it is.
I think Dillon Brooks missed the memo on LeBron James. Because this ain't the bear you want to poke. See, in the NBA, there is a fragile balance between how good a player is and the acceptable amount of annoyance they are granted. Shout out to June Lee from ESPN for this concept because it explains this duality perfectly. Now, the better a player is, the more annoying he's allowed to be. For example, Joel Embiid is fairly annoying, but he's really good, so he's way above the threshold. Giannis isn't really annoying at all, and he's the best player in the league, so he's about as far above the threshold as you can get. Right next to Nikola Jokic. And most elite players around the league fall somewhere in this region. Guys like LeBron, Steph, Lillard, Tatum, Butler, really good and just annoying enough to make it fun. But this is a delicate thing to maintain, because when you're good enough, you can be about as annoying as you want to be, until you're not good enough and become unanimously insufferable. Ben Simmons is the poster child for this phenomenon, but Draymond Green and Chris Paul have also fallen victim to this as well. Really annoying and slowly declining in ability as the years go along. Now, some players have actually had an opposite trajectory. Not that good and extremely annoying early on in their career, but as their game improved, their antics have decreased. The redemption arc. You love to see it. But some players have taken it upon themselves to be as annoying as humanly possible while refusing to hold up their end of the bargain. Instigators who have absolutely no reason to be the way they are. Players like Pat Bev, Marcus Morris, Tristan Thompson, and even going back in time, there's been some absolute villains throughout NBA history. And yet, somehow, Dillon Brooks has found a way to be worse than all of them. Never before have I seen a player who is as unanimously disliked as Dillon Brooks is. And of all the things the game has to offer, of all the ways he can make a difference and contribute to his team, poking the bear is his specialty. Even worse, he's not very good at that either.
That's what it is. He's not good. I was trying to figure it out on why he's so annoying and why he can talk just as much as other people have in the past, and it just rubbed me the wrong way. And that's what it is. His jump shot is ugly. I don't even think he has a left hand. He's just not that good of a player. Like, he's a decent player. Don't get me wrong. He's in the NBA. He was on a really good Memphis Grizzlies team. He was a key part of that. But it's the reason why they say under no circumstances are we bringing Dillon Brooks back. His talent is not as good as the way he talks. So, I get it. I get it. And I think one other thing, too, that I just didn't like about Dillon Brooks is, how do you do all that talking, right? I poke bears, LeBron is 40, I don't respect him, you know, this and that. But then when y'all lose, he comes up missing in the media. He's getting fined for skipping the media. Like, no, have that same energy. Like, I would respect you if you talk the same shit whether you win or lose. And you can't only talk shit when you win it. You can't do that. And I respect Ja. Ja came out and, you know, I said I was fine in the West, and, you know, and it didn't work out the way it was supposed to. Like Ja, you know, took ownership for what he said. Dillon Brooks went missing when it was time to talk. So we done figured it out. 3 minutes in, I figured out why I don't like Dillon Brooks.
Because even the worst villains understand that there are some players you really don't want to piss off. They aren't fazed by your trash talk, but they will ruin you for trying it. These players are on the Do Not Trash Talk list. It's an exclusive club, and once a player joins it, the league comes to a silent agreement to never slight, jab, or trash talk that player.
Who are these guys?
Any player can break this agreement if they so choose, but not without severe consequence. Larry Bird would often get challengers brave enough to trash talk him, and the result was always the same: humiliation and regret. Michael Jordan established his position on the Do Not Trash Talk list early on in his career, but that didn't stop the occasional lunatic from stepping out of line and testing him. Unfortunately for them, Michael had an unhealthy relationship with squashing marginal NBA talent into irrelevance.
I think this part is what they're saying is like, no trash talking mean you can trash talk them if you want, but your teammates gonna probably be mad at you for trash talking. I'm like, bro, like, leave him alone. Like, don't go talk shit to him because he's going to go give me 40. So I think that's kind of what these players is. It's been Larry Bird, it's been Michael Jordan. Let's see who else on the list.
Results of this was always a career night for Jordan and a downward spiral of shame for the opposition. Kobe was MJ's successor
Don't
on this
talk
list.
shit to
and
Kobe.
Right when the league thought that no one was exempt from some competitive banter, Kobe picked up right where Jordan left off and never missed the opportunity to make another man regret his decision to pick up a basketball. How quickly can I make a man want to quit his profession? Well, let's find out. If you trash talk the players on this list, they won't just give it right back to you. They become obsessive, driven to make sure that you become acutely
Why was Tim
aware of the
Duncan looking at
fact
him like
that you are inferior. It's psychotic, really. And among active players, LeBron is the natural successor to Kobe in this regard. Time and time again, over the course of LeBron's career, players have attempted to trash talk him, to get the best of him. And time again, LeBron is given no choice but to remind them exactly why that's the worst decision they've ever made on a basketball court. But unlike his predecessors, there's one thing missing about LeBron and his presence on the court. Fear. It's been said by countless players across generations that opposing players feared the likes of Bird and Mike and Kobe, but despite being the most daunting force of his generation, LeBron James isn't necessarily feared. At least that's what some players say. This idea that as great as LeBron is, he isn't the killer that those players were, which...
Do y'all agree with this? I think Mario Chalmers is the last person I heard say this, and how true is it? Do y'all think people in today's game don't fear LeBron James? Like, that's almost a good point. I don't know if I agree with it. I'm not in the NBA, so I don't know. I probably should ask for Sean, like, what he think about this. He'd probably be like, he's a LeBron. He loves LeBron, so he'd probably be like, this is not true. But I should call him and ask him. Might leave that for another video, but what y'all think? Do y'all think that NBA players today fear LeBron? Let me know.
It is weird because I've watched LeBron's entire career and I vividly remember this, and this, and this, and this, and every other player who stepped out of line getting walked like a dog by LeBron James. Now, most players across the league know that this line of thinking, that LeBron isn't feared, is absolute horseshit. Dylan Brooks is not one of those players. And so, in an attempt to find some sort of value to his team, Dylan Brooks begins his campaign to annoy the hell out of LeBron. Disrespecting him in the middle of games, calling him out in interviews, saying he's old, he's washed up. LeBron hadn't earned Dylan's respect yet. Despite Brooks' 5-14 career record against LeBron and the atrocious gap in head-to-head performances, Dylan Brooks was incessant, determined. It got so bad that even Skip Bayless, the LeBron hater, wanted LeBron to shut the kid up.
I seethe over this to the point that I want LeBron to destroy this man.
Nobody likes it.
It's so out of bounds what he did. It's so uncalled for. It's so beneath the dignity of one LeBron Ramon James that he can destroy this kid if he so chose to do.
And that's why I honestly, if Dylan Brooks would back it up, I would love it. I'll be like, shout out to Dylan Brooks, man. You are this, you are that. You talk your shit. You out there, doing your thing. But he's just not good. His braids are not cool. Like, he got ugly looking braids. Like, just everything about him is the opposite of the way he try to carry himself. So, yeah, man. It's crazy that Skip was on Bron's side. If Skip is on Bron's side, y'all know something up.
Then to top off all the antics, Brooks drove the final nail into the coffin when he said this about LeBron and the Lakers leading into the playoffs.
But I wouldn't mind playing LeBron in a 7-game series. The legacy's there.
Okay.
First time back in the playoffs, knock him out right away in the first round.
Oh, wow.
And that was it. Unbeknownst to him, Dylan Brooks had just ended the Grizzlies season. The playoffs hadn't even begun, and yet the outcome was already determined. The kid flew too close to the sun, and his fate was sealed.
Hey, what y'all think they was talking about right there? Write in the comments. Just give me your honest opinion. What you think LeBron and Dylan Brooks was talking about in this very moment right here? It couldn't have been nothing nice. It don't look like they were arguing. But I can almost guarantee you that they wasn't asking each other how their day went. Like, it wasn't that.
And his fate
right there
was sealed.
I might fuck you up tonight.
Set the tone and tenor of this game early. 8 quick points on his way to 25.
Oh my God.
9 rebounds in 5 games.
Okay, so the Lakers get out to a 2-1 lead in the series. That's not the end of the world. You can still come back from that.
Give me that shit.
Have the Grizzlies on the brink of elimination. Dylan Brooks picks up James. He wanted James. He gets him. James drives. James is fouled.
And one! Let's go.
All right.
He poked the bear.
A historic night for LeBron. Not a good look for old Brooks. He should probably turn it up if he wants to salvage this series.
With the forward and putback. He is dominating in the James popped the clutch. Got it to fall. LeBron activated. Slocked up by James. Oh!
Game time.
He rose up.
Put him to bed.
Quite winter.
Put him to bed.
James. The Los Angeles Lakers will advance by virtue of a 125-85 win.
You know, I poke bears. I don't respect no one until they come and give me 40.
This guy.
So I pride myself on, you know, what I do is defense and take it on any challenge that's on the board.
Of all the outcomes and ways this entire saga could have ended, Brooks found himself right in the middle of the worst one. Get outplayed every single game? Check. Have a historic night dropped right on your head? Check. Get ejected from a game at the hands of the guy you were trash talking? Check. Get sent home in the first round as the 2 seed by the old guy you went out of your way to disrespect? Check. Must we not forget, this is what Brooks wanted.
His glasses
and it's what
suck.
he got. But you want to know what's worse than an obscure NBA player trying to be the villain? An obscure NBA player trying to be the villain, but after seeing the mess he's made, decides halfway through a playoff series that he doesn't want to be the villain
Look at
anymore.
LeBron.
Because after getting ejected from Game 3, Dylan Brooks had the audacity to say that we, the fans, are making him out to be the villain.
Media making me a villain.
Get out of here, bro.
Fans making me a villain. And then that just creates a whole different persona on me. So now you think I intended to hit LeBron James in the mouth.
Get up, Bron.
That's right.
Get
it's
up.
our fault.
I agree that Bron probably exaggerated the hell out of that, but there's no way that it's the media's fault. You the one that called Bron 40. You the one talking about you poke bears and do all this, which is okay. It's okay. But you gotta back it up. Not backing it up is what's gonna get the media involved. It's gonna get you embarrassed. So don't blame that on the media, man.
It couldn't
But
be
Bron
the
wasn't
season-long
there.
pest crusade he went on, or the direct trash talk he was doing all season. It's just merely our perception on it. But wait, there's more. Because after LeBron went for a historic 20-20 in Game 4 and laid the dagger right on Brooks, the man refused to talk to the media
That's
and
what's
avoided
whack.
all questions and interviews after the game. How ironic. You mean this guy?
That was a
doesn't
walk
want
of
to do a
shame right
post-game
there.
interview? But at the end of the day, you take your L and you move on. Dylan Brooks, like countless players before him, learned the hard way that he just isn't that guy. I mean, how much worse could this possibly get?
According to a new report from Shams of The Athletic, the Grizzlies
That's
told
crazy.
soon-to-be free agent Dylan Brooks he's not coming back to the team, quote.
That's what made me feel like everything he did was 100% wrong. I was always giving him the benefit of the doubt. Like, you know what? Like, the Grizzlies need that player on their team to give them an edge and, you know, to try to hype their players up. And, you know, they need that toughness guy on their team, that enforcer. But as soon as the season is over, his Grizzlies team said, we're not bringing him back. He's a free agent, and under no circumstances are we bringing this guy back. So that let me know right there that nobody was feeling what he was doing.
Under any circumstances. Woo.
I take that back. This is literally the worst case of mess around and find out I've ever seen in my life. Now, I've seen players get humiliated, sent home, benched for talking too much. But in all my days, I have never seen a player, a starter in the NBA, get released because he was talking too much trash.
He didn't get released.
Even his own team said, all right, buddy, that's enough out of you. And it's not like Brooks was a bad player, mediocre for sure, but for the Grizzlies to go to this extent to make sure that he never cost them another playoff series again is actually insane. Here's the thing. If you are going to be the bad guy, a pest, the villain, you have to embrace it. And you have to accept what comes with it.
100%.
Patrick Beverley is about as unapologetic as one man can be. He's insufferable. and he'd have it no other way. Draymond Green is a jerk, an instigator, and he knows it. Trae Young loves being the villain. Dylan Brooks does not. Because, as a wise man once said, everybody acting tough when they're up. Now that LeBron is older, he's slowed down, he gets injured more often, can't jump as high or run as fast, some players are beginning to think that LeBron is no longer on the do not trash talk list. That the door has opened back up and they can talk smack without consequence. But even in his ancient age, 20 years of mileage, and apparently not being one of the most feared players in the NBA, LeBron still managed to teach Brooks a lesson he'll never forget. Some bears just ain't worth poking. Hope you all enjoyed. And as always,
what was they saying? What were they saying to each other right there, man? That might have been one of my favorite videos that I've reacted to in the last month or so. Like that, I really enjoyed that. But I appreciate y'all for watching it with me. Make sure y'all subscribe to the channel if y'all want to see more videos like that. Go ahead and like this video if you like this video. And go ahead and write something in the comments. Let me know how you feel about the Dylan Brooks. I was about to call it a Dylan Brooks and LeBron rivalry, but this is not a rivalry. Not a rivalry at all. But this is a situation. This is a hiccup for LeBron. Let me know how y'all feel about this. But I appreciate y'all like always. We out.